The videos on this channel, especially when you consider as a full library of content like all of them, they'll teach you how to beat Giovanni, regardless of the scenario that he throws at you. Once we add in this one right here with Gyarados, I'm going to consider this probably the hardest lineup that you would have to face for Giovanni. Sometimes that's subjective based on somebody's account. You know, some people might be really well poised to deal with a Giovanni with Gyarados in the middle, or maybe have plenty of counters for a Persian with Scratch, for example. This video is going to be slowed down, at least certain parts of it, if not all of it. Basically, in editing, I wanted to slow it down, because one thing that I find is trying to fit in all of the information that you would need to beat Giovanni and do it in like a 3-minute video. My guess is that sometimes the messaging will get lost, and so I like to also teach the principles. It's like some people just want to copy my Pokemon exactly. I want you to be able to learn the principles. You know, if you're going to copy them, that's fine, but you've got to know why you're going to win or lose, and that's what we're going to explain. So for instance, a Persian with Scratch. Now, I have a video entirely on Persian all by itself. To fully explain that gives like, I don't know, 20 counters, and then now we've had new Pokemon come into the game since then, like this one, which is Jellicent. The main thing about Jellicent is you're not going to deal super effective damage back to that Persian, because the only typing that Persian takes super effective damage from is fighting. So normally you do want to go that route. It's just I've already shown that in other videos. And this is all about the bulk along with the moveset that Jellicent has. So you're going to notice we're using a lot of Bubble Beam. Bubble Beam is going to guarantee that the attack will fall of your opponent. So basically it's a guaranteed debuff against that Persian's onslaught of scratches. Now if you want a little bit more damage, you would also pack it in here with this second charge move that's Ice Beam. Really just anything that can pack a little bit more of a punch, because Bubble Beam is really not intended for the damage. Like, it's largely for the debuff. And we don't have type advantage here, you know, we're just going to be dealing neutral, not super effective. But we are going to resist that Persian Scratch attack. It's because Scratch is a normal type attack, and so you'd want to go with Ghost, Steel, or Rock Pokemon. You know, if you have Steel and Rock, for example, that would double resist, which would be awesome. But you usually want to try to deal fighting type damage if you can. In this case, we were able to do pretty well with Jellicent, because not only is it going to resist it having that Ghost type thrown in there, but Persian would resist Ghost. So if you are using your Ghost types, you just don't want them to deal Ghost type damage, because again, Persian is a normal type and Ghost is going to be not very effective against normal. And then we had Stunfisk come in at the end there just to deal a little bit of damage, but that's also largely with the important purpose of generating a little bit of energy. A large thing about Team Go Rocket is like not using your charge attacks even though you have them just yet. You want to overcharge, like over-generate that energy, because now the idea is to kind of spam out this discharge attack. That's this Stunfisk's charge move. And so going up against a Gyarados with Bite, you want to handle that a little bit differently than, say, a Gyarados with Waterfall. That's the other fast attack that Gyarados can have, and so that would be Water, whereas Bite is going to be Dark type. Now, Gyarados has several typings that it's vulnerable to that would deal super effective, but Electricity is going to deal double the super effectiveness because it's Water and Flying. Each one of those is weak to Electric. So you see how far we got down that Gyarados? By the way, of course, all of these Pokemon you'll notice that I'm using are below 1500 CP. I'm level 46. The Team Go Rocket leaders are going to scale the CP up or down. It basically becomes higher CP amounts that you fight if you are a higher level. So let's say that your trainer level, you watching this, is anything below 46. You're going to be facing Pokemon that are weaker than I'm facing. Let's take the example of this Latias right here. You're going to see its CP amount is 16,094. So again, let's say that you were below level 46. You're going to be fighting something that's lower than that. Depends on your level. So we're now taking a swing at Latias again. This was actually the Pokemon that I showed in the other video, going up against a Latias with Charm. The idea is that we have the Steel type to resist Charm. Of course, Charm is a Fairy type move. We're going to be dealing super effective with Scizor, but you could do the same thing with Genesect. And I did actually have another video, didn't talk about it at all, just because it was an account that lost the battle at those levels. The idea being that if you actually powered them above 1500, they wouldn't lose because they would have all those type advantages and things. It's just Durant was the main difference, and Durant has the same exact typing as Scizor, but it has different stats. It's not going to have as much bulk, and it's funny because Scizor is not exactly the definition of bulk either. It's going to be a little bit stronger than Durant, but also the access to a little bit better moveset when you talk about generating energy, maybe dealing the damage. We are going to run away from the fight, so you're going to see that, and I'm not going to fully charge this up. You would want to fully charge that up if you want to win, of course. You'd pretty much win right there. You just have to do that one last charge attack and get in a few more of those fast attack hits. This Scizor had a lot of health left too. Notice it was only at 1487. The Scizor I used in the last video with Charm, it was at 1337. Yeah, it was Leet. So that shows you how much Scizor can do for Charm, because the idea is that you can get in 6 of those Fury Cutter attacks before that Charm's animation is going to fully play through and hit you. So you could even count them out as you're doing them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then use your charge attack. Don't use your charge attack after like 2, because Giovanni and his Pokemon are going to stand still after every single charge attack and every single switch out. The main principle controls to remember for any Giovanni fight, not just for this specific lineup. This includes the future, etc. Overcharge or generate your energy for your charge attacks, like stack it up. Take advantage of the stun time whenever either side uses a charge attack, or whenever either side feints or manually switches out to a new Pokemon. Team Go Rocket stands still for about 3 seconds. Use your type advantages, strengths and resistances, and then go with the spammiest movesets that you can if you're struggling. Again, that's just for people that are struggling. There are some that may outmuscle Giovanni using their 3,000 plus 4,000 CP legendaries and stuff like that. This is just if you don't have that option. Hope you've learned something. Click an end screen to see another, and thanks for viewing.